Hey Mike, do you have another report that you can share with us?
Yeah, I've got another one. This is kind of interesting. This is something that we stumbled upon while we were doing some follow-up on a Bigfoot report. We got a report of a Bigfoot. Well, it was actually the first report we ever got in here when we opened the museum back in 2004. A man came in from Zayani who said that for several years he was having experiences with this Bigfoot. He saw it walking on the ridge, on this ridge right here, which he had a view from the other side of the ridge. That's me taking a picture of the ridge there. His house is on the other side, and he saw it one afternoon very clearly. This was back in 1998. And then for the next few years, he'd have little things happen in his backyard and hear screams in the night and this sorts of thing. So he was pretty anxious to come and let us know about it when we opened the museum. Well, it turned out that on the other side of the mountain, over in this direction, there's a household there that had a prowler coming around on a regular basis. I think I already talked about this story, but if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, their pet chicken was taken in the middle of the night, and the feathers plucked off and the breast eaten off it while the people ran around the house flipping on lights. So we had reason to believe this was a very active area, that there were Bigfoot there and on an ongoing basis, and these people had several experiences also during the summer of 2004, and then again for the next 2 summers they had experiences. So we were there quite frequently, and interestingly enough, about 2 years ago at the end of the year, around December, I get a call from a man who lives in a house just down the street from this house where the other episodes were taking place. And what they have in common is this gully that runs behind the house. It's a very steep gully, and of course in the winter it's full of water, but in the summer it's just a little trickle. And the animals use it like a little causeway to get through the neighborhood without being seen, because the majority of the gully is overgrown with berry bushes and so forth, and so the animals use it quite frequently. Over here is a view. So anyway, I get a call from these people saying that they saw something in the gully from this porch, and I'm looking up from the gully at the porch here. These are stills taken from a video, which is why they're kind of fuzzy and kind of flaky looking. That's the best I could do because the homeowners wouldn't let me come there, and instead they let the man come there who lives down the street, who was already a good friend, and he videotaped their little excursion looking around in this area where this woman claims she saw an animal that was at least 6 feet tall, and she's looking down on it from up above here, disappear into the brush, that it was big and covered in black hair. And it's like, just a few hundred yards downstream on this gully from where these other folks were having ongoing prowler events. So, and right around the same ridge where the Bigfoot was seen back in '98. So we went out there, he went out there and took some more video walking around. Now here's a shot where obviously some animals have been sleeping up against this little rock wall under these roots down in this gully, which butts up against a marshy meadow. So there's meadow up behind this and marshes, and a lot of marsh and meadow, and Zayani Creek is just like about 2 lanes of a small street away from where all this is happening. So these little creeks and drainages are all emptying into nearby Zayani Creek. And this happens to be near where we videotaped some screams in November. So this is a very, very active area. And, when I played those screams for people in the museum, about the only thing we can come up with that might explain the screams, other than Bigfoot, would be a human being. Now, obviously, a Bigfoot could possibly sound like a human since they have a similar kind of vocal tract, potentially. So that isn't too shocking. But anyway, we've gotten some weird tapes that people can't recognize, cannot identify, that sound pretty spooky, and they're coming from this area, near where this marsh is. And I want to show you. We went down into, this guy went down into the marsh for us with his camera and found something strange down behind one of the houses down the way. There's a little altar that's been constructed, and near the altar, see there's been candles burnt on here, and items put out there, and nearby there's a tree, and attached to this tree there is a mask. Now the mask to me looks like some kind of a primitive ceremonial mask, like from a Papua New Guinea or from Africa or somewhere like that. It looks to be. Here's a shot of the little altar, and here is a shot of the mask. Now, if anybody can identify that mask and wants to get in touch with us, we'd be interested in knowing what that might be about. So we don't know if there's people back here doing animal worship, or if this is Wiccans, or we don't know what's going on here. But somebody's got something going on, and it happens to be in an area where all these Bigfoot reports are coming from, and where all these weird screams are coming from. Doesn't that frost your honey? What are you going to do with this information?